Hi Aquarius, welcome to July. This season is a lot to do with healing, but it's also to do with finding the magic in your day-to-day life. The eclipse in Cancer led you to make a big decision based on your routine, on how you would like your life to look like, or what the next step is in changing the way your day-to-day runs. Two of Wands. For a lot of Aquarians, change is very scary. But if you look back to 2017 and how your life has evolved from then, look how good you are at it. Ooh. You're a lot better at it than you think. The problem is, as an Aquarian, you are most of the time living in the future. You're most of the time playing out your future in front of your very eyes. You can see the way things are going. It's why Aquarians are wonderful sociologists. It's why Aquarians are wonderful psychologists. You have an insight into the way things are going to go. And for a lot of you, that actually means that you don't oftentimes sit and really think about what's going on with you, what your motivations are, and why you maybe feel a little bit off kilter at times. So this month has a lot to do with checking in with that, checking in with your unconscious mind through your dreams, through your daydreams, but mostly through your nighttime dreams, the things that are popping up in your head, the messages that you're getting. You're probably getting quite intense ones. You should look them up. You should analyze them. Take the time for yourself to understand your inner mind while you create your future, because you're creating your future in a very, very big way. The Cancerian energy has a lot to do with the routine, and the eclipse has shaken up your day-to-day life. It will not look the same in 6 months, if it even looks the same now, because this was a quick moving eclipse. But oh boy, it's going to change a lot more, especially for your work. Another thing, Aquarius, is that you have to check in with your body a bit more. You know, your health, what it is that you are doing to your body, why you're feeding your body the foods that you are, why you're feeding your body the information that you're feeding it, what your relationship is with your body, and between your body and your mind. You could do with being a bit kinder to yourself there, I think. And if your motivation is based on something that you don't really connect with, that's probably why you're not getting the results you're getting. You need to be kinder to you, especially to do with the way that you run your day. Run your day or it will run you. But of course you knew that. The thing about the 12th house energy is that it's so beautiful and mystical and magical. It's just that sometimes it's an energy you're not always that comfortable with because you're the 11th house. But with Saturn being back in Capricorn, with the eclipse being in Capricorn, with Pluto being in Capricorn, with Jupiter being in Capricorn, you could really do with indulging in it for a moment, indulging in the fantasy. And if a lot of it is to do with trying to make a big decision about your past and your future and how you could possibly combine the two, I think you're finding it kind of tough. It's a lot of options in July that you have to weigh up, Aquarius. A lot of decisions to be made, particularly in terms of locations, in terms of finances, in terms of people. 8 of Wands, King of Pentacles, and the 4 of Wands. Beautiful. If you're dealing with an earth sign, I think there are happy times ahead. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It could take off quite quick if it's with an earth sign. If it is property or business related, you'll have news on that, and I think it's good. But I think for a lot of you, if it is an earth sign that is catching your attention, I think they look like quite a good prospect. Of course, this can also be the earth sign energy of this month. You know, we have Capricorn energy, we have Taurus energy, and we are leading towards Virgo season. But I think for a lot of you, in terms of business and in terms of money, you're becoming very sensible. You're possibly also saving a lot on not flying, I imagine, with the 8 of Wands here. But there's pleasant news. There's pleasant news that comes in while you're trying to make up your mind. Nice. Perhaps you're now figuring out a side of yourself that you didn't know before. The side that likes a bit of stability, the side that likes a bit of company, the side that loves the outdoors, the side that loves a different type of person than you envisioned for yourself, maybe. A type of you that really would like to change your structure to be more fitting. The way that your routine and your day goes, you would like it to fit more in alignment with who you are now, because Aquarius, you've gone from some big changes. The Tower, you have changed a lot. There's a lot to do here about foundations. There's a lot to do here about how you lay foundations. Now, Uranus is, of course, very well aspected to this full moon eclipse in Capricorn. And Uranus is in your family sector. So to do with family and to do with home, I feel like there's something quite nice comes up in the next 6 months that is good news to do with your family, especially where something was maybe kind of touch and go. I feel like the eclipse is really wanting you to figure out where you've maybe been neglecting or running away from some kind of commitment that would actually serve you very well. I think for a lot of you, Mars in Aries is going to teach you a lot about your preconceptions, a lot about what you have actually been bringing on yourself because of what you really do believe. Now, what's scary and wonderful about this world is that our unconscious mind is so powerful. What's scary about that is that we don't always know how to work it. So what I'm saying to you, Aquarius, and you'll hate me for it, but I'm a moon in Aquarius, so I'm getting at me too. You know, you're so good at analyzing other people, and you're just as good at Pisces as Pisces is for having people as projects. You know, almost dating lessons. You know, dating someone for the sake of a lesson, or going through these consistent lessons with people, and these romantic failed relationships oftentimes where you could be very devastated, but at least you learned something. One extraordinarily important lesson that has not quite gotten through at the moment, this is your final exam. Saturn being back in the 12th house is your final exam to show you what you understand. And for a lot of you, this could be a dalliance with the past in some way, shape or form. Hearing from somebody that really, really broke your heart. Having a chance to repeat that energy. While also simultaneously being faced with a window into the future that looks so warm and fuzzy. And yet with Uranus as your ruler, Uranus, which is actually the planet tipped on its side due to an impact with another planet, the way that you look at things this month is so important, because oftentimes your perception of what you want can be kind of skewed. All I'm saying is that there's a key learning moment within you where you have to access this consistent repetition of a karmic lesson playing out. You want to build something a bit more solid for yourself, okay? So do not get stuck in a repetition of past patterns, is what I'm saying. And that is not to say that you are ignorant of such patterns, because as I say, you're very sociological, you're very clued into other people's behavior. And sometimes, as I say, when you have somebody, if you've been dating someone that you're trying to figure out, or you have friendships with people that you're always trying to figure out, a lot of the time then you can miss out what's going on with you. That's all I'm saying. In terms of your analysis this month, you could do with being a bit selfish. In terms of your figuring things out. You know, are you always figuring stuff out for your friends? Because I think this month you could do with a bit of figuring your own stuff. Just so you can build a much more solid foundation for yourself, because you are a fixed sign. You need a solid foundation. You are originally ruled by Saturn. You need a little bit of sensibility. That Tower Knight of Wands moment, I feel that the full moon may bring a few changes around in terms of your family setup. But it may also bring a few changes, with the way that you deal with change. Because you're doing so well with it, right? You're doing so well with the changes that have occurred over the last few years, because I think for many of you, they were quite monumental. I can't help but feel, Aquarius, that with the Hierophant energy, you're being called not to rebel against security. And I know that might sound unusual, but it's because you're confusing in some ways, because there is so much focus on your routine, but also your unconscious mind, right? So bear in mind also, you're really going through big psychic shifts, and you have been since 2017, if not a little bit before then. You are going through these tremendous psychic shifts where you're very, very aware and you're very tapped in and whatnot. And a lot of that does only get better, or does only make sense the more work that you do on you. I just can't help but feel like you want to self-sabotage something a little bit. And it could be with a fire sign. There's also an element of, do not be afraid this month. Do not be afraid this month about what other people say. Do not take it into account. Do not take it too hard. For me, the Page of Swords sometimes can represent this little bit of trolling, where other people are saying things without really thinking of the impact or the consequence, that kind of energy. Be mindful about what other people are saying. People will say things out of anger. Mars moves into Aries. People will have short fuses. Please don't take it personally or discredit the work that you're doing, especially if it's family. With Mars being in Aries, the way that you expect people to behave or things to happen is all being shifted. Mars is going to go retrograde. You're going to have to really do a little bit of reflection, okay? In terms of what it is that you're expecting from the world, what it is that you're expecting from other people. In particular, what you're expecting from love or your kids. Venus is in Gemini. It is now direct in Gemini after doing a retrograde stint where you've revisited a lot of emotions to do with your children, to do with pregnancy, to do with romance, to do with love, to do with creativity. You've done a lot of tricky reinvestigation. And you know, Aquarius, as well as that, Venus in Gemini is going to square Neptune again. Neptune being in Pisces, your sector of worth, your sector of money. And I think for a lot of you, you're wanting something much more secure for yourself. And it's okay to want stability and security while being a revolutionary, you know? It's okay to want more than one thing. It's okay to combine the contradictory aspects, Mercury's retrograde, combine the contradictory aspects of your nature and still be loved for it. And as long as you understand that, everything else is good, right? A lot of people in your life want the best for you. And I think you're understanding now, Aquarius, that you want more in a way that you are not denying yourself for the sake of thinking you have to. When you're going through tricky experiences in terms of home or in terms of family, it is important to stay grounded. As an air sign in particular, you very much need to stay grounded, putting your bare feet in the earth, listening to the sound of the wind. The thunder moon could be, of course, thunderous. I love this moon for you because it's known as the buck moon. It's when stags regrow their antlers. And the 12th house for you, it's a lot to do with regrowing a side of yourself that I think has been a little bit suppressed recently. You know, you're going through big changes, and I think that in many ways, Aquarius, you just need to make sure this month that in understanding yourself better and getting to the root of your motivations, what makes you you, what makes you do the things that you do, I want you to keep very much in tune with the magic of it all. You really want to be you really want to be sensible, and you will be sensible in many ways. But the magic is so important to stay in touch with. There is beautiful energy coming in for you, particularly as we leave it on the Page of Cups, that 5th house energy with Page of Swords. Venus in Gemini is bringing for many of you news with regards to children, with regards to love, with regards to creativity. It's really beautiful. And you know, it's so solid, a lot of this stuff. And there is a restructuring, don't get me wrong. Saturn in your sign has been a restructuring. Mars will also feel a lot like it is showing you just how aggressive and forthright your perceptions can be. You're a futuristic sign. The things that you're expecting can happen very quickly. Just be mindful of that. There is going to be a reset and a repause going forward, but I've taken you way into August at this point. There's a lot of really beautiful, solid stuff, a lot of really beautiful news, especially if you're dealing with earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. That is so beautiful, and you deserve this. As you flip between the past and the future, you're going to gain some very, very interesting insights. They may appear quite scary at first, but you're being set up for something much more solid. There's an opening for more messages to come through to you in July, and they will, after Mercury goes direct on the 12th. Aquarius, there's going to be this sense of movement, and with Mercury and Venus direct, it's going to feel very much as though a lot of things happen quite quickly, so just brace yourself for that. I think it's very positive. I love you very, very, very much, and I will see you in the extended.